Today we're talking about how to use Google Trends to determine when to create content or even update existing content. Some people call that content freshness. I don't know. I mean, to me, it's updating it. Like if something new, you have a ranking piece of content and something new is going on for, some new technology, but that content ranks, do you create a new piece or do you update your existing piece? But Google Trends actually helps you understand when you should actually do that. Now, we're going to look at some really good examples of that and where you should do that. But first, before we start, make sure you subscribe. So Google Trends is a really great tool to help you decide when you should create content. I know if you've seen some of our other videos, you could see, some of the things where you could actually look at the trends and when they come out. But it's a great tool for content marketing to let you know when you should create content and even when you should refresh content. And let's just look at the example, for instance, of Learn to Swim, right? If we look at Learn to Swim, we'll see here it peaks, sometime in June. Now, what's really interesting is, it gets warm enough, in June, I guess in most places where swimming becomes a big deal, but we see sometime around May, in like some parts of, let's say, the United States, because this is United States data, but some parts of the United States, it gets warm enough around May to learn to swim. And we see a peak here because when you get up into the north, it takes a little while. So we see it peak sometime in June, July, which makes sense. Okay. Now, what this really tells you is if we look at this, if you're say, swimming school or a lifeguard or things like that, what it really tells you, is you could create content if you're, a school that teaches people how to swim. You need to start creating around that April timeframe. The peak is going to be in June. Maybe you want to create new articles or refreshed articles around that time. Now, sometimes, as we've seen with this pandemic, things have changed a lot. And we look at Learn to Sew. Now, it's really interesting when we look at learning to sew in the United States and we see it sort of peaked over here in April. So it was a much, it has these peaks and valleys, but we see this high point in April. And why was that? Well, when the pandemic came and there was a shortage of masks, basically people started learning how to sew. So we saw a much bigger spike in learning how to sew. So if you're a manufacturer that makes sewing equipment or you're a store that sells sewing supplies online, this is sometimes when events happen in the world, and we see things take off, you may want to start, creating content in order to, help people with, hey, how to learn to sew a mask, creating content for that, but also, so they could find supplies. Because sometimes, smaller manufacturers online, they're much harder to find, even if they have online presences and sell online. So creating content is a great way, and Google Trends really helps you see where those spikes are. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Check out our other videos on Google Trends and our other videos on content marketing. We have a ton of great tips on content marketing and other videos. Have a great day, everyone.